Hello, good morning, everyone. Um, this is Les podcast show. Today, we're bringing you a very new special audition. Today, I'm very, very happy and glad. It is a privilege and honor to have one of a special man called Roseman. He is an actor, an author, a public figure, an international speaker. Alex is a man who deals with an illusion, breaking an illusion. If you are not, don't know your way, he breaks it through and builds you to a reality, makes it a reality for you. Very happy to have you here today, Alex. As you know, my podcast is all about eradication of poverty. It's a non-profitable organization. It's not for any personal enrichment, rather how we can build a new world, how we can build a new Africa, how we can better ourselves, better our generation, the generation to come. So it is an honor to have you here today, Alex. Thank you for coming.
The honor is all mine. So thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Usually I start with prayer. If you don't mind, I invite you to accompany me in prayer in honoring God. Yeah. So, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for everything. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity you have given to us. We thank you. We cannot thank you enough. We beg you, oh Lord, to come and be in our midst, in our thoughts, in our action, in what we say, that all we are going to hear from this gentleman you have given us as a gift will be to your own glory and to your own honor and for our own salvation. And you, oh Lord, to bless us and bless those who hear us today and in the next year to come and the next month to come. Come and be with us as we talk, as we do our conversation. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Thank you. Alex, I'm here. It's a short prayer. Thank you for accompanying me. So,
My pleasure.
yes, as I said, this is about eradication of poverty, as you know. But before I get into that, I would like you to introduce more whom you are and what you do and how you have been in your journey throughout this time, so that our audience will know and learn from you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So brief introduction of who I am and what I've been doing for the last few years. Mm-hmm. So I started my journey really in 2016 as an international speaker and coach. I was an actor up to that point for about 5 years. And for me, I realized a real passion was to help people, really help people to wake up, go big, and live extraordinarily. And for me, when I was caught up in a monotonous job of hiding behind a desk, working, living for the weekends, I knew there was something more to life. And as soon as I took that step to become an actor without knowing how to do it, I knew my why for myself and the how would work itself out. And I just got out of my comfort zone. Ever since, if I'm comfortable for a moment, I get extremely itchy. Mm-hmm. And it's about living comfortably, uncomfortably.
Yes.
And for me, this is a journey that's been ever going since really 2016 as I pursued my coaching practice. Mm-hmm. And 2017 when I first started speaking internationally. Yes. So what's got me there is really about stepping out of comfortable and into your greatness. And it's basically taking that action, even though you know it's going to scare you, mm-hmm. but you schedule it. You hold yourself accountable to it. And so you have your why. In fact, I've got a boxing match coming up in June. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I still look the same afterwards. But I did it because, you know, I walk the talk. If I have my clients do something that's uncomfortable, I'm always looking to go the next step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I look to myself, I want to increase my fitness. I want to really push myself. What's going to get me to hold me accountable and have this drive? Well, if I look at something, I put it in a date and I say to people, I'm going to do this, and I make it go onto social media, I'm now going to commit to it. There is no getting out of it. And this is going to hold me accountable, because most people, well, every single person wants to move away from pain towards pleasure. So once you put yourself in that position, of course, I don't want to go up in that ring and be hurt. I want to be fit. So now I want to move away from that pain. So I've got to train every single day in order to be the vision I see for myself. And that's just an example. And, you know, I have my clients do this in something that's going to give them that big life, give them that extraordinary life. So I do it with myself, and I take how I've done this for myself. It has made me take crazy steps without knowing how to do hardly anything, because I know that we become ready for that moment, for that time. So hopefully that kind of gives you a little insight.
Yeah, I think that's what I read a little bit about you, how you have so many skills, varied skills. There is nothing actually that you cannot do once you put your head into it. And I think that is very motivating, and for all young people who are aspiring to follow your footsteps today. That is what made you change your attitude and approach towards life?
Great question. So, you know what changed is I was going through pain.
Yes.
And I was so caught up in my story and this thinking that it led me to a point where I was sort of here, you know, rock bottom. I remember one night I didn't know where I was going to sleep. I was on the verge of basically being homeless, not because I didn't have people around. I could have obviously stayed here, I could have stayed there.
Yes.
I felt myself so worthless that I didn't want to be a burden on other people. And I was going through this sort of state of mind, and you know, that was at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. And the pain of this, the pain of beating myself up, the pain of just being with myself, I knew something had to change. And I saw, you know, if I hadn't have any money, if I didn't have value points, I called it value points, it's because I'm not giving value to other people. You know, people like Bill Gates, the reason they're billionaires because they've offered so much value to the world.
Yes.
Computer, people using the PCs, Steve Jobs, you know, these people had a value they were giving globally, and that's what gave them this status. And there's people who give value in the community.
Yes.
Lots of value, and they get the value points depending on how it is. You know, you're doing a fantastic work for charity, so the value you're giving there, the spiritual value you're getting back, it's you know, fulfilling. I'm absolutely sure of it. So it's sort of, I shifted my attitude about focusing on me and started to focus on other people. And suffering really is based on three things. And that is the perception of loss. So you feel like you've lost something.
Yes.
Less, you know, you've got less of something because of your illusion around it. And never again. You know, you've ever come out of a relationship and you think, I'll never find love again. And you have this fear. So maybe you might stay in that relationship because you don't want to suffer. And you're staying in a relationship that you don't actually know it serves you anymore. But you feel like, would someone love me anyway? Maybe this is the best it's ever going to get. So we keep ourselves in a position where it doesn't serve us any longer out of fear that we never have it again. But then there's some people who leave a relationship going, yay, I'm free. So it's always shifting perception, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's just our own illusion around that. And it's about helping people completely shift their attitude around, because we have everything we need.
Yes.
And if I can help someone see what they already have and see that they're, in fact, they've got everything they need, they feel successful. Oh, I've got this, and I feel grateful. Success builds on success.
Yeah.
So it's not about getting anything else. It's about shifting the perception of what you already have. So it's just a shift of attitude around that.
Yeah. I think that is wonderful what you have explained. And I do admire it. I think a lot of things push you, which one you have explained, which is the pain and also the loss maybe and the fear of that moves you a lot into creating. You don't need to stick or get stuck. Rather, you have to move forward to create something that will help you, instead of, going down, you do this, use that to raise your profile and raise your person. That's what I want. I think, yeah.
100%. You're spot on. And really, look, pain and pleasure is in every single person. If you're a child, if you ever put your hand on a hot stove, you go, how quickly do you move away from pain?
Yes.
When you're going to pleasure, you're a bit slower towards it. So people move away from pain quicker than they do towards pleasure. And as that's an instinct in us, why not use it to our advantage rather than use us to drive us into the ground?
That's it.
And for me, it was just seeing the obvious. Well, it's in us. And if I know that's there, why not use it at my best capability? So I do it. I set myself up, to establish I'm going to write this book by this date. I'm going to fight in this ring. I'm going to have a speaking event. When I did my first speaking event, I said, look, I said to them, look, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But if I don't know, I've got a date to work towards. I'm just going to keep, waiting to be ready, which never exists.
Yeah.
So so they set the date for me to do my first Unleash the Power Within Tony Robbins event.
Yes.
So I did a preview. It's a 3-hour talk twice a day. And I had nothing prepared. I had nothing. So they set the date and I knew, right, my mind, I don't want to turn up like this and be in pain, whatever pain means to you. And so I got to work and somehow my mind just knew what to do. No one needed to tell me what to do. I just knew there's a date here. I better get my ass in gear and get ready for it. And so I'm telling people, look, don't wait to be ready. You're never ready.
That's true.
Okay. But you're always ready to get ready. You're very resourceful when you need to be. And people are waiting for something to happen, or they're, waiting for all their ducks to be lined up. It doesn't work like that. You set the date, you get accountability from people, and you just become that person. It's all about becoming the person in the process. The result is based on the process, the person you've had to be and do in order to get the end result. So it's just about doing it. Like, am I ready to fight in a ring right now? No, but I know at a date I will be, because I'm in that ring doing it.
Yes.
And it's simple as that. So whatever the ring is for you, find your ring, set a date, tell people, get ready because of that.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I think that brings us to the next question, and I think you answered it actually. At at what point in life did you make the decision to change, and pursue your dream? I think,
pretty much. Well, I know when I was 26, 27, that's when I didn't want to just do 9-to-5 stuff anymore and be in the system, should we call it? This sort of way of how I was trained from school, to then go to work, to then, I had to kind of get out of that, which was very challenging. To then kind of go into the unknown, the uncertainty of it all. But I realized that the uncertainty for me is how I grow.
Yes.
And if you're in nothing grows in comfort. It's very comfortable in comfort. Nothing grows in comfort. So I thrive to get myself uncomfortable, because for me, if I'm not growing, how am I being the better version of myself? And if you're not growing, you're dying. And I know I'm throwing all these sort of quotes and everything else, but it's because it's true. you know, if you want to be the best version of yourself, you're not going to do it if you're sitting at home watching Netflix every day after doing a job that you know how to do, and then you go on holiday to get a holiday away from your life. I'd rather create a life that I don't need a holiday away from.
Yeah.
And some people think, you know, I don't want to invest in a program or do all that stuff. I'd rather just go on holiday. But the holiday disappears.
Yeah.
When you invest in yourself, as you know, that lasts a lifetime.
That's true. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that is pushing me to do this. I know I'm not the youngest to do this one now, but it has always been my dream to help people and to push people and to make people to, you know, sit up, you know, make yourself somebody. There is no need for you to dwell in poverty and start crying. We can make a change, each and every one of us. If we build our energy, get our energy together, make a massive move, there is no need to start hanging on another person. Rather, you will be happy to whom you become or whom you want to be, you know, how you want your life to get on, you know, to how you want to live your life. I think, you know, that is what I'm saying about people changing their mindset as well. You know, even if you find yourself in the deepest mode, you know, try and start doing something. Don't sleep on it, or, you know, being lazy, you know, because there is always something in this life one can work out and become somebody, you know. So that's one of the things. Anyway, Alex, my next question is, what are the challenges that you have faced in your routes to transformation? What are these challenges? Because before you have become what you are now and what you are intending to be in the future, what are the challenges you have faced? I know you have spoken about, you know, in how the pains you have gone through and the limitations you have had, or so what other challenges?
Okay, so I mean, for me, the challenge is always when I've reached a goal, then I haven't set another one to focus on. And the challenge is when you're left with yourself and your mind without a focus. So without this, then what happens, I'm starting to see it in myself, in my own experience and other people, is when you don't have a focus that inspires you and excites you and scares you, what happens, we can start looking inwardly, because we have a sort of a lack of focus and purpose. We become purposeless.
Yes.
And we start to I feel like I have a spiritual crisis in some sense. We start looking at answers outside of ourselves, and because we're not growing towards the sun, the light, in a sense, we're not getting pulled towards something, and we're not growing, which means feels like we're sort of dying in some way. And that's why we have to start doing this sort of work. And it's my challenge is making sure I'm always, you know, the next thing, keep growing. Because there's sometimes you think, is it going to go on forever like this? You know, do I have to keep doing it? And I notice when I ask this question, like, to someone, why have you not gone to the gym? Why are you not joining the gym? Oh, well, you know, if I start, then I have to keep on going.
That's
and I'm
true.
like, so people don't start because they feel like they have to keep on going. That consistently persistent and persistently consistent is one of the keys to success. And if you start the gym, you go to the gym every day or 5 times a week or whatever it is, because you set a standard for yourself.
The standard, yes.
Standard for yourself. Like, I have a standard for my health. If I could not go and do exercise for 2 or 3 days. Like, if I do that, then I'm like, you know, I'm so ingrained that I just got to do something. I'm going to have to. Some people can go months. Like, I haven't been to the gym or trained for 6 months. I mean, it would just be in my brain, be like, what? You know, for me. But, you know, everyone values things differently. So you need a standard for yourself. And that's the challenges en route to the success whatever success means to you is not about comparing it to other people, but just being the best version of yourself. As Michael Jordan was training, he didn't train against anyone else. He only trained against himself. How can I be the better version of who I am today? And he became, Michael Jordan, not by competing with anyone else, but just himself.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and it encourages one. It's a motivation for all of us to see, hearing from you. It's like, okay, if you can do this, then why can't I start? Following. Even if I don't go every day, but at least, make an effort. Yeah.
In my book, 21 Actions.
Yes.
It's very small. It's a small book because it cuts out the fluff, I like to think.
Yes.
And just get to the action. Hence why it's called 21 Actions.
21
and it's all about 7 areas of life. And one of them is health and fitness. And it's about putting your gym gear next to your bed. Just put your gym stuff next to your bed. So when you wake up in the morning, you see it. Well, okay, let me just put my gym stuff on. Okay, now I've got my gym stuff on. Maybe I can go for a walk. Maybe I can go for a run.
Yes.
Make it simple, one step at a time.
At a time, yes.
Some people look at it like it's a chunk. You look at the gym, but then I've got to sign up for the gym membership. Then I've got to drive to the gym. Then I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Like, break it down, small little one at a time. Then it becomes a habit.
A habit.
And one of those successful habits that it just compounds over time. And we have successful habits and we have unsuccessful habits, right?
Yeah.
Some habits are like get a coffee and a donut in the morning, It's not conducive to a better version of your future self.
Yeah.
So what habits are people doing unconsciously that they can become conscious of? And, I explore a bit of this in my book and,
Yeah. All right. Okay, Alex, I want to ask you, who motivates you, or what motivates you? Does it, because I have heard you now mention a lot of big names, which are really people we also look forward, maybe, so like Tony Robbins, like, what do you call it? Steve Jobs, or, all these big people. Are these people, are they the people that motivates you to become whom you want, or whom you have become now or want to be?
You know what? It's a great question. Who inspires me? It's really...
Or is it you that you inspire yourself through the books you read or the work you do?
Yeah, it's always about, for me, it's like uncovering what it is, who I really am. As in acting, they call it, people wear a mask on their face every day. They put their mask on, they go outside. So who is that person really? And it's in acting, it's all about removing the mask. So that if I'm playing a character, I can put the character's mask over me rather than wearing my own mask and the character's mask.
Yes.
So that I can really truly be the character. And so for me, it's every time I learn something, it's about uncovering a part of myself that is more authentic, more truthful, more of who I really am. And I love to look at people like Tony Robbins or the Steve Jobs. I know they're not perfect human beings because there's no such thing as perfect. The only thing perfect in life is death. And there's a lot of things that people are waiting for is procrastination and perfectionism. Death is the only thing that's perfect. So if you're waiting for anything else, to be perfect, you could wait until the end of your life. So for me, it's just do it and get it out there and learn. And I'm not scared of failure. Failure is just feedback. Yeah. So when I see these people, what they've achieved, I know I can achieve it. If they can do it, I can do it. Now, I'm not going to be Michael Jordan in basketball. I've got to realize my limitations. I can't be, stupid about it. But I find out what it is I value. If I valued basketball and I enjoyed basketball, then I'd find a way of how to utilize what I have naturally, skills-wise, to get involved in basketball, right? But it's not basketball for me, right? I was terrible at basketball at school. So for me, I see what these people have, these attributes, and the things that I like about what they have and what I like about them. I know it's because I have it in me. because I can't see something unless it's something that's reflected within myself.
Yes.
So I like to see these people, what they've done. I know they're not perfect. Steve Jobs, the film that came out, how he was with his team and everything else. But when you have a big vision and you can see it, you get so, fired up. It's not about judging others, because we have about 4,200 traits, things that we do. And what you may do in an area, and I don't like it, I'm also doing what you do in a different area in my life, you see. So it's not about judging other people, it's about having compassion for it, because if you have compassion for others, you have compassion for yourself.
That's true.
And then you give yourself permission to go after what it is you want. If you start judging other people, or looking at people who have a Lamborghini and going, oh, he probably stole something to get it, you're pushing away success for yourself, rather than celebrating it. So I just look at all these people and I just see it as, they inspire me. Someone who shares a story on Facebook, those kind of Gold Coast lives, or someone who finds a kitten and then they suddenly take it on their journey as they're traveling through the country. People like that inspire me, and they share that journey. So people generally inspire me when they do great things,
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oh, another question I want to ask is, since mastering your strengths and what you can do in various ways, can you now say that you have found your core self, your inner strength, whom you are? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for me, I know the core strength there. I am still, I'm a seeker, so I search. And the more I seek, the more I shall find. I then able to give this to my clients, into the content I give. And for me, if I ever say I found it and I don't need to learn anymore, that's a real problem, and if I could become an enlightened being, I sort of have this limitless supply of information. Fantastic. But you know what? As I'm speaking, every moment I force myself to be in a position of being very present. Like if I'm on stage, I'm speaking. It's not about going to my head and remembering anything, because when you're in your head, you're dead. So when I channel in or tune, I just speak and give without sort of thinking. It just sort of, it comes out naturally, and I feel
natural.
It comes from my core then. So I find my core in moments when I'm serving others. And I feel like everyone can find that in themselves when they start serving others.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah. I love what you have said, because I didn't mention it, because the fact is that you don't stop. Even if the moment you said, oh, you have achieved your goal, that is even the time you start working hard and harder in order to find more, and in order to give more, also to enrich yourself and enrich others. And I think that's why I said we human beings are limitless in what we can do. We should know, obviously, as you said, we should know our limitation, but there are a lot of things, we should go beyond our goal when it's been achieved. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
we think it's something here.
Yeah.
I have a client who comes to me, what they want to work on, and their dream and what they believe of themselves is up to here.
Yeah.
But I look at them and I say, well, how about here? Suddenly they're like, wow, okay. It's like, if you can, if you can think, thinking is free, so you might as well think big.
Yeah,
right?
That's what it's think big. Yeah.
You must dream big. And if you don't hit all the way, you've certainly surpassed the dream here. So you might as well go and fall in between here.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and one of my questions is, I want to hear from you, and I know you can give us very, good advice that will help us grow and improve our well-being, is on, what can you say to people who are facing also, challenges in life, be it financial, be it emotional troubles in life. I know you are a coach and you teach others and coach people. So what can you tell us about people when they come to you with challenges, in, you know, a little bit, how you can advise them to face life?
Okay, so we're all going to have challenges at the end of the day. And if you want a life without problems, then there is no life, because we need problems, we need these challenges in order to grow. But of course, right now, you might not have the kind of problems or the quality of problems that you would like. You know, I remember having problems of where I'm going to sleep tonight compared to when I shifted my focus to have problems like, are my books going to be printed in time? It's a different quality of problem, which means a different quality of life. And where your focus goes, energy flows. So I would straight away look at a client and go, like, you got financial problems right now. What are you focusing on? I'm focusing on the bills. I'm focusing on this. I'm focusing on that. Guess what you get more of?
Bills.
Get more of that. So straight away, I'm going to take their focus off the bills. Go, what is it you actually would like? I want this. I want this. I want this. Does that inspire you more? Yes. Are you in a better state? Yes. Stay on that frequency. Stay in that vibrancy. And if you're in that place, you'll be able to look at those challenges differently, because you can start asking yourself, what would it take to make sure that I have more money in my account in order to live the life I want? Okay, so great. What would it take? What is the profession? You know, what, depending on what that person's doing. Okay, so if you want to earn more money doing this, let's look at just practically doing something in the morning where you structure time to create new clients, to create content, to create whatever it might be, depending on that person. Get to work, be consistently persistent and persistently consistent every day. Suddenly the bills, suddenly everything else, you're not focusing there anymore. You're focusing on what you want and you're taking the action. So that thing over here, that was where your focus was, is getting smaller. The big thing that you want is getting bigger, and you're taking little steps to get there. Because progression equals happiness. Doing something every day towards that purpose, to something that inspires you. And then, you know, are there things that may get in the way that sabotage you? You know, unconscious belief. Yes, that's why you invest in yourself. You get a coach. You have something that's going to help clear the way. And, you know, there's going to be points you get higher and higher. I'm actually, now I've got someone who's training for the Olympics, a gold medalist, who's flying down to see me tomorrow. Because, you know, there's people who are out there who, you know, why do Olympian champions or people training for Olympics have coaches? Because they want to get better. You know, why do Hollywood superstar actors, you know, have coaches around them? Because there's always a next place to go. And some people just think a coach doesn't need a coach. I have a coach, you know, I have mentors. And I would expect every coach to have a coach, you know, to make sure that, you know, if you want someone else to invest in you, you want to have that you're walking the talk. So it's not about waiting to be ready. Find someone who is within the budget you can. Read the books if you can't make it to a coach until you utilize what you get and actually use it. So I'd say to someone, look, if you want to know about money, or you're having problems dealing with money, get books around it.
About money, about finance.
Don't read about spiritualism right now if you're focusing on about survival. You know, because you can't be as spiritual as you might want to be and creative as you want to be if you're in survival mode. It's like you're trying to figure out how to be, and you want to go and zen out, but
doesn't
right
work
now.
that way.
Okay, great, but I want to eat. What do I need to do in order to eat, in order to pay my bills? Learn about that resource. Give yourself that freedom and breadth, where you can then go into the investing in maybe the spiritual part, if that's something you want to teach people, if that makes sense.
It does, it does, definitely. It does make sense. You know, there is always, you have to plan. There is, you know, prioritize things. You cannot be chasing rats when your house is on fire or is on fire. I don't know whether you have had that before.
Not chasing rats when my house is on fire, not yet. I'll do a Facebook Live at the time.
Yeah. So, okay. Our next question is almost done. Our next question is, you know, what kind of, I know you are into, I have read about your, what you do, and how you have developed an academy, coaching academy. Yeah. What kind of people, clients do you attend? Is it all students, or is it all people, any walks of life, from all walks of life? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, if anyone wants, I speak to people who want to live an extraordinarily big life.
Okay.
And coaching people in different areas, it all comes down to a conversation. There's only so much one-to-one I can do, of course. And it really comes down to what if we obviously resonate. And I have other resources. I have books. I have an online course for some people who are not able to, afford the one-to-one, because obviously everything is a different sort of price package as they jump in.
Okay.
So the academy is going to grow over time, of course. So this is really for my online course. Really is about getting started in the 7 areas of life in personal development. So if they're not into it, they haven't started much yet, and they just want something to quickly take some action, and how to manage their money, because if you can manage your money, you've got more money to manage. If it's about how to kickstart your health, if it's about understanding why you sabotage relationships, or whatever it might be, because I have a theory that whatever relationship you have with your parents is what you have with life. So within the course, there is a section to do with that, to help you unravel that and become more aware of it, and give yourself power back in an area that you felt powerless. So the academy, it's building, more resources out there for people.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very grateful for everything. And the next question I want to ask is, what are the positive results you have had in coaching? And also, can you share it with us? And another question in between I want to ask in that one is, can anybody who wants to, who needs coaching, can it be affordable? So your price, is it too high? Because you are a public figure, is it too, some of you put so high figure?
Well, this is how I look at it. You can start with the book and start implementing what you learn from the book, right? It's a few dollars on Amazon. So you can Kindle it or get it delivered to your house. Or maybe if you go onto my website, www.alexroseman.com, there's some pages for free. So, start with this, implement what you get, rather than overload yourself with information. Because I feel like we're drowning information, but starving in action. So it's about taking action with what you've already got and leveling yourself up, stepping up, and raising your standards for your life. And the more you raise yourself up and you push yourself, or you're doing more, certain things may come along and you may be trying to sabotage yourself or whatever else, but you only start to see it when you are taking some form of action. And then you can clear it up as you go along the way. So, and then there's the online course where there's so much content on there and workbooks. But to have my time is obviously, I'm going to look at you specifically, deal with anything that may be holding you back in that moment. But it's my time, of course. So it's about how much do you value yourself? How much do you value your time? And that's what it is. It's, when you look at successful people's mindsets are not about cost. They just look at the value or something.
That is true.
Someone could be trying to sell them a ticket to an event for £500 and they just go, no, not really for me. The person selling the ticket going, oh, maybe it's too much. No, how about there's another ticket at a higher value, a higher cost that's worth 5,000, but you get this, this, and this. And they go, yeah, I'll take that one. It's based on the limitation of the salesperson, not the person they're selling to.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
That's true.
About the value, about finding what that person actually needs. And they will go, yeah, I'll pay for that because it meets what I need right now. So it's not about bringing your own limitations into it. So for me, people obviously pay because they want specific results. So, and that's an investment. That's obviously depending on what a person values. Right now, they may value an online course because they get to work in their own time, sit there with the workbooks with me, with the videos, and have all of that. Okay. So, yeah. And that's on my website.
Yeah.
Alex
All right.
Did I answer everything then?
Yeah,
okay.
That's it. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are right. As mentioned, one of the mission why I'm doing this podcast is to help to eradicate poverty in Africa. And one of the ways we are trying to do it is instituting a functioning healthcare facility in order to create employment, in order to create growth, to educate people, and to change mindset. Just a part of general development for us to make poverty a history in Africa, to be honest. So, and what interests me is that you have devoted also part of your time in going to Africa, in volunteering and doing some work, just as you are doing now, without a pay. So, I want to know what made you choose Africa, and what did you learn? What experience did you have in Africa, especially in relation to health? Yeah.
In health? Okay. Yeah. From my experience, I was in Tanzania, in a little town called Tanga.
Okay.
We created a program out there called Waka Tanga Safi, which means keep Tanga clean in Swahili. And we were educating young children because, without this education, they didn't have the common sense to know that obviously going to the toilet, in your drinking water is going to cause you harm.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was sort of that kind of level of education in these tribes that we wanted to help these villages. And just a bit of information can really, you plant the seed in their mind and it can grow.
Yeah.
And my experience there is that people are generally happy, they didn't need a lot. There was a community. And I feel like there's something missing in the Western world. Absolutely. There's the older culture way, where about 7,000 years ago, the young culture sort of kicked about and then it started to grow. And we, lost our way more and more ever since. But there's certain pockets on the planet where there's community is very important. That sharing, and because now times people are working 8 to 10 hours a day to have a few hours of time for themselves. Back then, the older culture ways, you'd work a couple of hours and have 10 hours to yourself every day. Wow. There's somewhere there's been a flip, and because of that, we've kind of lost respect for, say, the earth. And because of that lost respect for the earth, we're literally torturing the earth, raping the earth, doing everything we can to create a very suffocating place for us. And we overextend, we overuse the resources the planet has. And when the older culture way of thinking was, you'd use just what you needed for the number of people in that tribe, in that community. And I felt like, that was still happening in Tanzania, in Tanga, but people were not overly extended. Everyone wants the American dream.
Yes.
But if we had the American dream, then we'd need, if everyone had the American dream, we'd need 4.5 planets to sustain everyone's American dream. So it's good that not everyone gets the American dream, because there's people who get the American dream are not exactly happy and fulfilled, I can tell you.
That's true.
Because they're missing those fundamentals of just that community, that closeness, that, sharingness, that the time with one another. And I just felt in Africa, that's how I felt, of doing the work, digging the ground, doing whatever it was I was doing.
Yes.
Really fulfilling, and just sharing and talking with people, and just not having to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Just being and present.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for the work you have done so far, and the ones you're going to do in the future. Because yeah, I know you're going to go. Please, just two more questions. I want to ask you, you have your pathway now, and you have established yourself in the way in the way of doing what you are doing in education, in coaching practice and so on, and in the acting business, in the writing of books, in transformation of people. So in general, how can your work be applied to in the African context? Can it be transferred to to changing of how our people? Yeah, it is true that we live in a community, but there are certain levels we are living there because I'm obviously from Africa, and I know terribly how people are suffering in terms of getting close to hospitals, in getting close to education, especially that of health is my own priority, actually, because once you have health, you have growth, you can do so much. So how can you apply your work? So now, Florence, I recruit you to say, Alex, come and help us in Africa in what we're doing. Can it be applied there?
Yeah, I would say 100% agree with you. If you don't have health, everything else falls apart. And you need your solid foundation in order to build something from, to grow, to get to where you need to get to. Now, we all have a definition of what health is. What is health? What health is in England is going to be different in different parts of Africa. Health, we don't have to worry about, is the water going to kill us? Where in Africa, health is getting clean water. So first of all, it's all about the air you breathe, the water you drink, to make sure the water is clean and accessible. And once you've got the water, then you got food. Now, I'm a vegan majority of the time, right? Sometimes I have my honey, and different places. So for me, it's like mainly a plant-based diet. And so I would, my definition of health is going to be different from someone else, but it's making sure the body gets the nutrients it needs and making sure there is a balance there. So if you're talking about health, as I'm going somewhere, it'd be educating people about sort of nutrients and health and what to put in your body and give like a simple guideline of make sure what you put in your body every day. And, there's certain things you got a lot of vitamin D there because of the sun. Certain places that don't have a lot of sun, you need to replace it with vitamin D, which you can get from plants that obviously take the sunshine into their cells, and that's what you're digesting. Because that's how clever our body is. It can take something like an apple, and that apple turns into you. You make the apple turn into you. I mean, that's a kind of intelligence that we can't even comprehend.
Wow.
That's the limitlessness. You see what I mean? How a seed, how a seed knows it's going to be a mango compared to another seed that it knows is going to be an avocado.
That is true, though. We don't even think about those things.
Yeah, the intelligence of this, it's so beyond us. The more we try to figure it out, the more there seems to be more to explain. The bigger the universe becomes. It's like a scientist trying to find one thing, like the particle. When they find that sort of that little particle, whatever it might be, suddenly expands into a whole different world. It's like new questions arise that we never seem to find it, and I say it's exploring that. I'm going on a little sidetrack here. So talking about the health around this,
it's all right.
I would then talk about the health based on how you manage your health in money. Are you paying yourself first? Because a lot of people get paid and go bills, they forget about number one. If you're not going to pay yourself first, whatever you want to call it, the universe, God, whoever, this bigger limitless intelligence, this subconscious thing that we have, you're not paying yourself first. Are you valuing yourself? However you're going to get to the place you want to get to if you don't even value you by the little actions you do every single day.
Yeah.
It's never the big thing. It's always a small little thing. You notice how relationships break up, not usually by one big thing, it's the little things over time.
Yes.
That person doing the big thing that breaks up the relationship.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure you do a little bit every single day
Mm-hmm.
towards your health. And if I was in Africa doing this, and I've been invited actually, and I'm not sure when it's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
still sorting out little bits and pieces. I would certainly keep it basic. It's, water, nutrition, looking at what the country has, and where can you get seeds that you can start to grow and eat this other food and chew a lot of times, at least 20 times, get the nutrients out of it.
Yes.
Gorillas chew for about 6 hours, but I don't think a lot of us have 6 hours to chew on a leaf. So, this is why we can make beans and have this soft, so it's easy to digest, and you can get nutrients from beans, from vegetables, salads. And I'd make sure you don't wash your salads in bad water. You just, there's other processes of doing this. So that's how I would look at it for health for the money, and health for your mind, to start focusing on where you are in your community. What's the vision you can have for that community, for the country, for the world, what can you do? And you got online, there's that online access, so you can do this and share with other people and create an income for yourself.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much. It's this education, this advice is priceless. It's what you don't get everywhere. Or so, like, people who are hearing you, who are listening, there might be also reading about these things, but when somebody comes and explain and detail it and say, and this is good for you, like as if you are speaking in their mind, you are talking to what they need at that particular time, then they will be able to capture what you were saying, and then and live with it as part of their life, to in greatness, as you said. So another thing is that we're almost there. What are the 3 great values or important values that has helped you in life, and that which you want to share with us today, to our audience, to help us in our way of development, to better ourselves, and to improve in the way, in our community life, so in our world. So what are the 3 great values you cherish most and that has helped you in life?
Okay, so first one is, don't wait for anyone else. Go after it. Whatever it is, you're responsible for everything. You're 100% responsible for your reality. Wonderful. So do not wait for a magic fairy to come down and wave that wand. You have to create it for yourself. Number 2, value yourself by the actions you take. If that's paying yourself first, by how you talk to yourself, by the meanings you make of the things around you, because nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give it. And number 3, have fun, enjoy, don't take yourself too seriously. Have fun, laugh, joke around.
That's
a lot of my talk, I'm just making people laugh. I just want to make people laugh. Maybe I didn't make people laugh on this podcast as much as I'd like to, but it really is laughter. It's really shifting whatever's in you and bringing laughter to others in the way that you can. Because if you look at that thing that's really causing you stress and you can laugh about it, it's going to be a different lightness around it, a different space. And so that's kind of 3 things I would say.
Wonderful. They are really very special 3 values which every one of us can imitate and emulate, that to live a purposeful life and to make a big contribution to our own health, to our own well-being, and to our environment as well. So because when you are happy, when you have fun, people tend to be happy around you. They want to be with you all the time. And when you are yourself, you bring more value to yourself and also to the world too.
And I just want to finish up and say, look, the more you can be, the more you will stand out.
Yes, that's true.
So a lot of people are wanting to be someone else, but the more you do that, the less you are who you are. People
Yeah,
want to know who you really are, not what you
yeah,
think you should be.
yeah,
Get
that's
rid
true.
of who you think you should be and just be you.
Yeah, being whom you
And be
want.
the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's what
my
it's all
last
about.
question now is, what are the three things that you are grateful for in life that you want to share with
Great
us?
question.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I'm grateful for someone like you who wants to call me up and bring me onto your show so I can share to other people. So I'm
Wonderful.
absolutely grateful
Oh,
for people
thank
like you,
you.
because without someone like you, I'm just talking to myself, and that doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Number two, I would say I'm grateful for my level of dealing with uncertainty in my life, because the level of your life is dictated by the level of uncertainty you're able to live with.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this sort of thing where I'm able to live very uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
So which means my life is always different. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it changes every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I meet people who are saying, what are you up to today? Same thing as yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
To me, no, I want to do that. So I'm grateful for the life I've built for myself that gives me that freedom.
That's it.
And thirdly, I'm grateful for really the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people who are doing great things,
Mm-hmm.
the people who believe in me, the people who support me. Environment is so empowering. You need to have an environment around you
Healthy
that's
environment. Yes. Mm-hmm.
because the environment is stronger than willpower. And if
Yes.
you feel like you want to be out of it, if you're in a gang right now
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to be in it and you want to create something for yourself, it's extremely difficult
Mm-hmm.
if you're hanging around the gang every single day.
That's true.
And if you want to change it, you got to change the environment you're in, because you probably heard it before. You are the 5 people you keep. So if you're with 5 different people, you're probably doing the same thing. You probably have the similar health, similar money. And if you want to step up, change your environment. If you want a better relationship, hang around people who have a fantastic relationship.
That's it.
And that's
Wonderful.
it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm happy. Alex, I respect
Thank you.
you. I am so grateful. I cannot thank you enough for this wonderful opportunity. In fact, when I heard about you, I said, "Oh God, I hope he's gonna agree to come. I hope he's gonna agree." So, but I trusted myself. I said, "I have to do it. I have to do it. Whether says yes or no, I don't mind, but I have to uh, uh, get in touch with you." Yeah, and I'm happy you said yes without even knowing who I am, without even there's nothing at all you have heard about me. I respect you for that, and I respect you for trusting me and believing in me. And this is a wonderful show you have given us today, and I believe it is gonna go far, not here today, but further, and to help our people, help the generation to come. We have heard a lot from you, deep spiritual things and healthy, and how to live also healthy life, how to grow, how to maintain whom you are and build ourselves, in a larger form than limiting ourselves. So thank you so much. I am grateful. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ihechi. I really appreciate it.
You said my name very, very correct. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you. God bless. Thank you.